Cardinal fans, welcome to this week's edition of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. And you always got a smile on my face, a little more glow on my bald head when we have a victory, Coach. And we're going in, it was nice. We're 2-0 in the conference, and I'm just going to let you roll and talk about whoever you want to on each side of the ball, wherever you want to go with it.
Yeah, it was a good win. It was a good win. Anytime you can play a good team at home and know it's going to be a dogfight and come out on top, that you're going to take all those you can get, and that it was a conference game even means that much more. So it was an exciting night the other night, and the folks that were here, I think, saw some exciting football from start to finish. Maybe a little bit more exciting than it needed to be at the end, but our players stepped up and did some really good things. Had a really good defensive stop there at the end to get out of the game, and had some guys step up and do some good things on defense throughout the night. I think they only had one offensive touchdown. It was on the first drive.
Right.
Where we got
kickoff return hurt us.
Yeah, the kickoff return hurt us. But we got to start a little bit earlier. But we were great in the red zone on some short fields at times, and did some really good things. Normally when you finish -2 in the turnover takeaway and allow a special teams touchdown, you're not going to fare very well.
Right.
Now we did some really good things offensively and in other phases of the game to counteract that, but it was a fun group to watch defensively on Saturday night, and players of the week. It's always fun to be able to talk about those after a win. We went with Quinlan Reiser for the night that he had 8-10 tackles and an interception late in the game, which was a big play when we needed it, and then making a stop on whether it was incomplete, complete, all that stuff in the end. Who really knows? The film, is a little inconclusive, but he does a great job of making a stop to get us out of the game there too. So really good stuff there. Offensively, having over 450 yards of total offense again for the second week in a row. I'm not sure we've done that since we've been here.
Right.
It's been a long time, probably as a team, William Jewell wise, since we went over 450 in 2 consecutive weeks, and had a lot of guys play well. I thought Nick West came in his second start and did some really good things, spreading the ball around, and had a couple nice throws down the field as well, which were good to see. And then, up front, with the guys we were playing against on their defensive line, they had some 2 or 3 guys up front on the defensive line that really could have given us fits. And
they were 4th in the nation this Saturday.
Absolutely, and there was a reason why. They had some dudes. I mean, you saw them, 6'4", 290 that can run, and several guys like that. And I thought we did a good job of standing in there and fighting them all night long, and giving us time to do the things we need to do, both in the run game and the pass game. Nick West, did some good things, like I said, spreading the ball around, and then even getting the balls to our backs, whether we're handing it off or whether we're throwing it to them. Thomas Cook had another really good night, and I believe is named Offensive Player of the Week in the conference again. And he was over 250 yards of total offense, and then 280-some total everything, I think, which ranked him in the top 5 ever in the conference. And it's great to see him continue to come along and be explosive like we know he can be. But outside of him, Glenn Whitney, who's been doing some really good things behind the scenes for us, maybe people don't notice, goes in there and carries the ball for over 5 yards of carry on offense, and then goes in and plays 15 or so snaps of defense gets a sack, and he was just a couple quarterback hits and was just disruptive, did some good things in coverage at times, and so it's good to see guys that it means as much to, like Glenn, being extremely proficient in all phases right now. You don't talk about that in college very often, where you're going to have a guy play offense, defense, and special teams. And he does tremendous stuff for us in the
He's a great special team player.
Yeah, and the special teams, again, we go back to that. That was a big part of the game the other night as well. With Brandon Womack, who's currently 100% on the year on his field goals. Those field goals ended up being really big in the game. We had one blocked early on a high snap that wasn't his fault, and he ended up making the tackle on it. But that was great to see. And then Zane Kitchell, I thought had one of his better games in the punt game. We didn't have to. The nice thing is he didn't have a ton of them. We didn't punt in the first half. So coming in the second half, and I think he had close to a 40-yard net.
Right.
And killed one inside the 5-yard line. I thought our coverage units did a good job there. We let one out on kickoff, which was which was frustrating because we've been dominant there. We were 1 or 2 in the conference on kickoff coverage.
Well, I'm sure glad you squibbed him at the end.
Yeah, it was Coach Gallagher who does a good job with our kickoff team. Where he and I were talking at halftime about, hey, what do we think here? And we just kind of decided, hey, this is probably the best opportunity for us to be able to do some stuff like this. And we did it the last couple times, and it didn't hurt us on a field position standpoint. We got the ball down, and until we had a really clear picture, and we thought we knew what happened on the kickoff return, but until we had a really clear picture of what exactly they were doing from blocking scheme-wise, we didn't want to, chance giving up another potentially a longer return with the momentum, going back to them the way it did the first one. So, did a nice job there, and I thought we did a nice job in the return game too with, Thomas and some of those other guys getting some touches back there on both kickoff and punt return. So, Brandon Womack was the guy we went with the special teams player of the week this week is, like I said, how big a kicks those have
Sure.
been and the things that he's been able to do over the last, really this season,
Right.
Handling those duties for us, and then some. We've never done this before, but we thought it was necessary this week to do an overall player of the game, offense, defense, special teams, kind of all combined, and we went with Glenn Whitney. We talked about him a little bit already with his work on offense, defense, and special teams. Not very often, like I said, in the college game do you have the opportunity to honor a guy that way. And, the kind of the unsung heroes that you don't get to see on Saturdays because they're standing on the sideline in their grays and some other things. Chance Nelson is a little running back out of Blue Valley that's been doing a great job in practice for us, and you guys will all get to know his name in years to come because he's doing some really good things. And then a young man out of Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, by the name of Christian Hunt, as a defensive end, kind of a stand-up defensive end, hybrid linebacker type guy who's given us fits in practice too. And it's always fun to be able to come in and talk about some of those guys as well.
Oh, you bet. Well, Coach, we'll get back, and when that last segment, we're going to talk a little bit about Truman State. I'm so old, I call them Kirchfield, Northeast Missouri State, and already been tuned up by Rick. So we'll talk about Truman State and about going there and playing the conference in the next segment. Cardinal fans, welcome to the second segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook, and it's my pleasure to have the Offensive Player of the Week, which you just found out, Thomas Cook, great running back, actually I think a good receiver, which we'll get to in a little bit, and also a tremendous return man. But Thomas, the main thing I want to talk about, and I prepped you a little bit before we got on the air here, the difference I see from you as a freshman now is you're really running well in between the tackles. You want to tell me why, and tell the Cardinal fans why you're doing so much better inside the tackles? Because you're really, really running well.
Well, it started last year, after my freshman year. Coach Lynch, Jacob Lynch, he really got on me about gaining weight and running in between the tackles and finishing every run. So I guess in order to make first downs and do what I'm doing now is just the confidence and me running as hard as I can every play, 100%, and just trusting my teammates and my blockers to get me there.
Well, you really are a complete player. Step number 2, you like catching the ball out of the backfield, because this new offense, you told me before we started this segment, a lot like your high school.
Yep.
You want to talk
exactly
about that
like
a little bit?
School. Spread offense. Mm-hmm. I like it because with the zone offense, I can see my reads before they happen. I don't have to hit a certain hole. I scrub my shoulders up and I can see a cutback lane when it opens up, and I guess it's just like it's natural for me.
Just a lot more natural,
yeah,
particularly if you did in high school. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
In the third phase, which you've always shined in, you were all conference as a freshman, as a return man. And why they kick it to you? I'm an old football coach, as you well know. I don't understand it because I would never kick you the football, but they do, and you usually make hay. There's been a lot, and you won a game with the first game of the year with a kickoff return. But you've set up a lot of great field position in your days here. Do you like kickoff and punt returns?
I love it. I never really got to just get it in high school like I wanted to because they was focused on me being a running back, and coaches giving me the chance. So I guess I got to do what I got to do.
You're almost like, talk about a natural. You really are. This is the first time we really got to sit down since you've been here and talk, and I really got to visit with you. But I went nuts when you had the horse collar tackle. Yeah. You want to talk about that a little bit? Yeah, because I felt like if he doesn't come over and get you on the horse collar, you take it. I mean, you were turning the corner. Didn't you feel like you could have scored?
I caught the ball, and I see the defender to my left, and he kind of froze. So I took off to the right. And I'm just heading to the sideline because I know if I get to the sideline, it's a touchdown. And I get it, and I just see this big old hand out of nowhere just grab me by the back of the neck and just drag me to the ground. I was on the ground initially because I really couldn't breathe because my jersey had hit my neck. But I could have got up sooner. Like the trainer, Charlie, he wouldn't let me get up.
Yeah, you had to say, okay, I understand it. Yeah, now let's talk a little bit about your teammates. You've had a great year. You really had, and you can see the progression you've made. But offensively, we're really starting to do some good things. Not only you, but the entire squad. So you might want to talk about some of the other guys on the offensive side of the ball that you really are pleased with. I know we've had some changes at quarterback, and then our receivers, along with you, our receivers really played well.
Yeah. We talk about it every day in practice with us not just being a running game type of offense. We want to get our receivers involved. And they've been doing a real good job in catching the ball. You got Nathaniel Igaroa. You got Quentin Riser. Little Ant. I call him Anthony Mullins.
Is that what you call him, Little Ant?
Little
I
Ant.
like that, man. That's
good. I love him. I actually played against him in high school.
Yeah, did you really?
Bishop Lynch, yeah.
He's a great receiver.
Yeah, he is. Kind of really quick, too. It's just, in my lineman, I tell them before every game, all I need is a crease. Just give me a crease. All I need is a little bitty crease, and we're going to score. And they just do everything in their power.
I'll put a challenge to you. Get over 200. I'm probably an NCAA rule, but you need to take them to dinner or at least buy them a Subway sandwich or something.
I talked about that. The whole Emmitt Smith thing.
Yeah, the Emmitt Smith thing. That would be good.
Yeah.
And then a quarterback, we've made some changes, and I don't want to put you on the spot because you're going to play with whoever's there, and I understand that you're a good teammate. But, Nick West has done a good job the last couple of weeks. DJ started the season, had some good, played some good quarters, and did some good things for you. How does that affect you at all, or you just go ahead and play no matter who's at the quarterback position?
Nah, not really. It's just I like it because it boosts the competition at practice.
Yes,
Dave, DJ, and Nick has really been getting at it. So and
that makes both of them better. It makes you guys better. There's no doubt about it. Coach White, you like him as the offensive coordinator?
Coach White, yeah. I don't know.
Did he recruit you?
Yeah, he did. We have a certain kind of connection.
Yeah, I heard that. And I remember, and you don't know this, Thomas, but he told me when he recruited you, it was at a basketball season. He says, "Hey, Coach, I got a guy that can go." And ever since he told me that, I'm a firm believer, but I am really proud of how you've grown as a football player, and I like to see you take it up there. I like to see you punish those linebackers once in a while. That's pretty smooth for a guy that can run. Pretty smooth. Well, good luck to you. Really, congratulations. You've had a great season. Offensively, we're really doing some good things. We're 2-0 in the conference, Thomas, and that's exactly where we want to be. So, good luck. I know Kirksville will be a good challenge for us going up there on Saturday. I think we play 2 o'clock on Saturday, but good luck. Again, good luck with everybody else. Keep that offense rolling, buddy.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Okay, that finishes this segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. Cardinal fans, welcome to the third segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook, and I couldn't have a better guy, and hopefully we both can keep straight faces throughout this interview, but I never thought the two of us would be sitting down and I'd be interviewing you. But there's a guy in the profession here, Sam Brown, that's coaching the quarterbacks here at William Jewell this year, and is one-time head coach at Jewell. Not a finer coach or finer person you'll find in athletics anywhere, and I know Jewell's glad to have him back. Coach, welcome to the show. Got that offense revved up, averaging about 24, 25 a game, doing well. But, I know through the season, and you're coaching quarterbacks, which is your expertise. Again, you've played a couple different people there. How are you kind of looking at the quarterback position and as far as progression since the first game of the year?
Thanks, Tim. I really appreciate the nice comments. You and I have been in this a long time, but this is my 43rd year in coaching. Been blessed. I had the opportunity to go to Excelsior Springs and coach. I played there and then coached there, and then I came back and coached there later. Obviously, I coached here at Jewell from 90 to 96. Was an assistant coach for 2 years and the head coach for 4 years. And then now I had an opportunity to come back with Coach Kruse. Coach and I have been friends for a long time, and had an opening come up in the quarterback coach, and I just have retired from teaching in 2 states, in Missouri and Kansas.
You're making all that money, dog.
Well, I'm about making all that money, but when Coach approached me, I've been coaching high school for most of those, well, all but 6 of those 43 years. I've been coaching high school. So the challenge of coming back to Jewell, obviously we were very successful my first 2 years here as an assistant, and then I teased Coach, I kind of started the losing tradition a little bit, but I came back because of the kids. We have 6, and it took a long time to get to your question, but we have 6 outstanding quarterbacks, and they're all just really, really good students, and I knew that. I knew coming back here it would be a very good challenge for me to come in and work with academic athletes that are just really, in my opinion, great kids.
They really
on
are.
the field, off the field. DJ is a senior, 5th-year senior from Shawnee Mission West. Well, I coached twice in Shawnee Mission. I was at Shawnee Mission North for 8 years, and then I went to Shawnee Mission East for 3 years.
Well, you're telling me this is not your first rodeo.
It's not my first rodeo, and just what a tremendous young man he is. Tremendous leader. Respect him very much for what he's done in the past and what he's doing for us now, as far as just being a competitor and just doing his best every day at practice. And then Nick West is a sophomore for us and from Texas, and just has a lot of talent, has a very, very strong arm. Just really hadn't played a lot since high school, so he's going through that experience a little bit. And then Colby Bowles, who is from Richmond, went to Northwest Missouri State to play quarterback, didn't get to play quarterback, came here. So, I could go on and on about our kids, but my interest in coming back to Jewell was basically to try to get a winning tradition started and try to work with these good young kids that I know have a lot of talent and are just they're just fun to be around. And at our age, it just really keeps you young.
Keeps you young.
When you go to practice, and they're always kind of just full of enthusiasm and just hope and just high expectations. And so I've just thoroughly enjoyed the last couple months just working with the older kid. Usually. And my wife says all the time, when you coach in high school, you've got your life in 16, 17-year-old kids. And I just told her the other night, I said, well, now it's 20, 21-year-old kids. But they're just fun to be around. And Coach Kruse and the staff have just been great to me. And the kids are just so respectful and just so attentive in meetings and things. So it's been a thrill for me.
Offensively, and we'll talk a little bit of XL here in just real little because we don't have much time left. But I like what you do. All you guys are doing offensively. You're spreading out a little bit and trying to get your skill kids. I think your receiving crew is the best since I've been doing the games for Jewell the last 7 years.
Good.
I think but you've got a lot of people. You got some weapons.
Yeah, Coach Waggle has, and I'd approached when Coach Kruse asked me to come and think about coming back to Jewell. I sit down with Coach Waggle, and it was amazing how our philosophies fit. All my life, I've thrown the ball everywhere I've been, and just love the passing. But everything we do is based off of is the middle closed, is the middle open, is there one high, is there two high, and so his concepts have just thoroughly impressed me, and he's let me add a few concepts, but. Overall, we have the ability to do a lot of concepts because our kids are very intelligent, and they can pick up whether there's one safety, you do this, if there's two safeties, you do this, and that's really where, you hate to always say West Coast offense, but that's where the passing game begins, is what are they doing to you? Mm-hmm. You have a pre-snap read, and everybody at this level, is going to show you one look and maybe play another. So we always talk to them about having a pre-snap read and then a post-snap confirm. When you take that ball from center, what's that weak safety doing? Because he's going to tell you coverage. And then depending on what your route is, You can get a set of progression of this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and that's the fun for me, is that our kids, really know what they're doing. I mean, they can read coverages. They know how to check down. They know how to, if we get a blitz, they know how to beat the pressure, and that's where Nick's really stepped up for us the last 2 games, and we saw it in the second game when he took a drive from the 7-yard line, about a 12-play drive, had a 4th and 10, 2 3rd and 10s, and killed the ball twice, and so we knew we had something pretty good there with him. So it's just been fun to work with the quarterbacks and teaching them football, and Coach Waggle has let me do that. He's let me handle the quarterbacks, and he does the line, and Coach Galler is a great young coach, so he does the receivers, and we've got I think a great chemistry. Coaches are all different. We are. Coach Waggle's different than I am,
but you got a little young and old on that staff.
It really helps. It really, and the kids are just so respectful that they trust us, and we trust them, and the last couple weeks we've been really making some really good adjustments. Coach at halftime does a really good job of coming in, and I'm in the press box, so it's fun for me after 40-some years of being on the sideline.
You don't need any more 15-yard penalties anymore.
Well, no.
You've had enough.
I've had enough of those, being on the field too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I tell you what, for me, doing this, it's a real joy to have you there with our background stuff together, and congratulations. Just keep up the good work, and we'll be back. This will be our last segment coming up, and Inside the Cardinal Playbook. Cardinal fans, welcome to our last segment of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. And Coach, you're going to play one of a great high school coach that I got a chance and opportunity to coach against, Coach Nesbitt down at Truman State. And and of course, it's a big conference game. By the way, before we even get started, and I'll say this 2 or 3 times, it's a 2 o'clock start instead of a 1 o'clock start for all the Cardinal fans. But why don't you talk about Truman State, Coach Nesbitt? I know they'll be well coached.
Yeah, Coach Nez, I've known him for several years as well, and have a pretty good relationship with him, and we spent some time together, getting to know each other outside of football as well in some social settings, and I can't say enough about him and the things that he stands for as a human being, and just how good of a coach he is. High school, college, NFL, it doesn't matter. He's a good football coach. And, his son, Kellen, is the defensive coordinator, and I tell you, the apple didn't fall very far from the tree there, because
he was a good player. I had to coach against him when he was a player.
Missouri, and had a great career at Central Missouri, and then started coaching with his dad there, and is really, really good. And they're playing really, really good on defense right now. They're only giving up 15, 16 points a game, which, with offenses these days, that's really a tall order. To be able to hold teams, to 2 touchdowns these days, and so I can't say enough about how well they are coached, and the rest of their coaching staff as well. Anytime you're as good a person as Coach Nesbitt is, you attract good people around you, and they've got those folks in the organization there. And we're going to see a team that I think is similar to us in some ways, in the fact that we've got the same dynamic of players.
They're highly intelligent.
They're a high education
students.
institution as well, and so we're recruiting some of the same kids, and they're a state school, so their cost structure is a little bit different dynamic than ours, which affords some opportunities maybe at times, but they're a good football team. They won 7 or 8 games last year, and on the road to do that again. Picked, I think, 2nd in the conference preseason. And rightfully so, because their Coach Nez has got them going, and it's going to be a very disciplined group that plays their tail ends off from the opening whistle to the ending gun, and we're going to have to be poised to be able to handle that, and to be able to match that type of play, from the opening gun to the end. They're now getting a little bit older, like we are in our program. And they've had some redshirt guys around for a while, and they're playing with those guys, and it gives them a chance to be successful, and they are.
For sure with Coach Neff there, they're always going to be around the cookie jar trying to get their hand in the jar for sure. They're going to be, and really, you really hit the nail on the head though, Coach, for Cardinal fans, because I've got to know a lot of them. You guys are so comparable because the number one thing here is obviously education, and so you're basically recruiting the same types of kids like you said. Well, Coach, good luck. 2-0 is 2-0 in the conference, just like I said, and that's exactly where you want to be. And you go down and look through it. We could be right there. S&T upset St. Joe this weekend, so anything can happen, as you well know.
You're exactly right.
So good luck. Cardinal fans, I hope you'll come out and come up to Kirksville and watch the game. It starts at 2 o'clock. A great setting. I've been up there several times. It'll be really pretty in the fall.
Yes,
We've had some great days to play. Hopefully you guys continue following the Cardinals because it's an exciting team to watch for scoring some points and having some fun. So hopefully we'll see you up at Kirksville, and that's this edition of Inside the Cardinal Playbook.